Oh yeah. One of my banks called me up today and said, Rob, we just had a customer deposit $1,375 worth of these small dollar coins. Would you like them? You know I said yes, and I am pretty pleased at what I see so far. Hey everyone, it's RobFindsTreasure and welcome back to the channel. We've got a 1,375 $1 or gold dollar, presidential dollar, Sacagawea dollar, you name it, dollar coin hunt today. And like I said in the intro, I'm pretty excited. First and foremost, we have several different types of rolls in here, and three I set aside mainly because they're completely different than I normally see. So I'm thinking they're older. This one right here, I am super excited about. It looks like a full original roll of 2000p Sacagaweas with toning on the ends. Not sure I'll open it. We'll have to see how the hunt goes. And then finally, take a look at this. We have got an original roll of 1979S, I believe, unless it's mixed, Susan B. Anthony dollars. I may not open that one either. We'll have to see at the end. Either way, I'm going to hold off on these three rolls for now, which means we have 52 other rolls to hunt. And take a look at the enders. There are a lot of SBA enders, so I'm probably not going to see a bunch of NIFCs in here if they're older rolls, but we can check for that Wounded Eagle on the 2000p Sacagawea dollar, and we can check for any other coins that would be upgrades for my books and to see if we have any proof coins. I know you guys hate long intros, so I'm going to get right to the hunt. I'll be hunting these rolls off camera. If I have a great find or an NIFC, something like that, I'll bring it back. Otherwise, I'll just give you a row recap at the end of every row. Wish me luck. Let's find some goodies. Roll number 4, our first two NIFCs, a 2006 Denver and a 2003 Denver, both Sacagawea dollars. Roll number 8 had two more NIFCs, this time presidential ones, both from 2015 minute in Denver, a John F. Kennedy and a Lyndon B. Johnson. Can't get mad at that. We have now completed the first 14 rolls. We did add another NIFC, a 2013 Philly Woodrow Wilson. On to the next 14 rolls. Roll number 16 was just seeded with finds. Holy cow. Look at all these NIFC presidentials. I'm not going to cover them now. We'll cover them in the wrap up, but holy cow. All kinds of NIFC presidentials, including both Grover Cleveland portraits. And we even have some NIFC Sacagawea dollars right here. I can already tell by the design. Again, we'll cover them in the wrap up, but take a look at these bad boys. Holy cow. Beautifully, almost uncirculated. Could be upgraders for the album. Let me get back to the hunt. Just wanted to bring you in on that epic roll. Roll number 18 gave us some more NIFCs, two more presidents, Howard Taft, and a beat up Theodore Roosevelt, and three more Sacagawea ones. I think what I'll do is, instead of covering them every time I find them, I am just going to go ahead and hunt the row unless we find a proof or a variety, and then give you guys a board recap at the end of the row. Seems to make more sense because right now, this box is on fire. Well, we're 28 rolls in with 24 to go. Unless we do those last three, we're about halfway or just over halfway done with the box. That being said, there are a ton of presidential NIFCs. I'll give you guys a summary of them in the recap and see if they upgrade or add to my albums. And we're doing just as well, or almost just as well, on the Sacagawea NIFCs. This box of gold dollars is doing great, but I want to take a second to talk to you guys about gold in general. Now, I'd like to shift gears for a second to talk to you all about a potential breakout moment for gold. We may be witnessing a pivotal moment for gold, one that echoes historic bull markets, but carries new dynamics. Let's take a closer look at the key data that outlines this potential breakout. First, we're going to talk about gold's historical bull markets, just comparing them. In the 1970s, the bull market saw gold reach approximately 200 all-time highs. In the 2000s bull market, it logged just over 100 all-time highs, and the current bull market today has already recorded 74 all-time highs. Now, during all of this, gold spot price has appreciated over 1,233% since February 2001, rising from $255 an ounce to above $3,400 an ounce at recent peaks. That's nearly a 13-fold increase over 25 years. However, this performance has not been matched by the gold mining sector. Here's some information that may point to why. Over the past 15 years, the gold mining industry has faced significant headwinds. First and foremost, declining exploration budgets. From 2010 to 2025, exploration spending has stagnated or fallen. There's also been a drop in discoveries. Between 1990 and 2023, 350 deposits totaling 2.9 billion ounces were discovered. However, only 29 were made after 2010, and no major discoveries have been made since 2016. There's also been stagnant production. Global gold production has plateaued, with some analysts forecasting a 17% decline in supply by 2030 due to depleting reserves and insufficient new development. These data points strongly suggest a looming supply crunch driven by underinvestment and the natural depletion of existing mines. If this supply crunch plays out as it seems to be headed, there may be an opportunity here for mining stocks. Here's some points to consider as to why. Since 2011, gold prices are up 75%. The GDXJ index, which is an index about the junior gold miners, is down 63% over that same time period. The last significant bull market in mining equities occurred over 13 years ago, and after years of consolidation, M&A is finally returning, as seen in John Paulson's recent $1 billion acquisition of 50% of the Donlin Gold Project in Alaska. Everything I just laid out today brings me to today's sponsor, AXCP Ventures, who is positioned to capitalize on this structural shift in the gold sector. Let me explain. Here's some key investment highlights of AXCP Ventures. In terms of valuation, AXCP Ventures is currently trading at approximately $5 an ounce of gold compared to peer average valuations of $40 to $60 an ounce, implying up to a 700% upside potential on a re-rating. Their flagship asset, the Converse Project, is located in Nevada's Battle Mountain Trend, one of the most prolific gold-producing regions in the United States. The project's updated mineral resource estimate in October 2024 supports the scale with approximately 5.57 million ounces of measured and indicated gold equivalent, plus an additional 0.42 million ounces of inferred gold. Oh, and they've already started a new drill program in March of 2025. Insider buying supports their position with over $1.2 million worth of shares purchased in Q1 of 2025 alone, which include Mario Vitro, who's the co-founder and director of AXCP Ventures, having multiple large buys, including 240,000 shares purchased in the final week of April 2025, and Tyron Breitenbach, who's also the co-founder and director of AXCP Ventures, purchased 50,000 shares on May 1st of 2025. If you're also wondering about the rest of their management team, they've got a great track record. The team assembled to run AXCP Ventures has collectively contributed to over 20 million ounces in gold discoveries across past projects. AXCP Ventures also has a strong financial position with approximately $10 million in cash on hand. Their business model is simple. AXCP Ventures aims to drill, de-risk, and position for a value-accretive exit similar to historical successful precedents. In conclusion, the gold sector is entering a critical juncture. With declining supply, a revived M&A environment, and underappreciated assets, AXCP Ventures offers a compelling opportunity, particularly as it trades at a fraction of peer valuations with strong insider conviction. So as you can see, there's a lot of potential with gold mining stocks such as AXCP Ventures, which is why I decided to take them on as today's sponsor. I also want to reiterate that I am not a financial advisor and that this is not financial advice. Always do your own research and consult with a financial advisor before you make any investment decisions. Also keep in mind that unlike physical metals such as gold and silver, mining stocks can be highly volatile and you could potentially lose your entire investment. There is a disclaimer link in the video description below, as well as some additional information about AXCP Ventures, who was today's sponsor. Well, I'm back. We've done another 14 rolls since the last update. We now have done 42 rolls out of the 52 planned rolls. We've added some more NIFC presidents and Sacagawea dollars, but nothing that was different from the last few updates, other than we did add our first variety. I didn't film it when I found it because it has some kind of epoxy on it. It's not in great shape because of that, but it's the 79p wide rim near date. You can see the epoxy right there. And yeah, we've got a near date. I've covered this in a short. If you want to check out the short, I'll have it up here, but we've covered it in a few hunts. It does have value, but in this condition with the epoxy on it, you can't get it off without heating it up or damaging it potentially. That's why I didn't film it, but it is a variety find. I have found, I think, 3 of these now in the last 4 or 5 boxes I've hunted. 42 rolls down, 10 more to go. Let's see if we find another find before the end of the hunt. We have finished 50 full rolls. I bring in, though, because we recently in the last roll had a couple of Sacagaweas that we needed to add to the board. A 2005 Denver and a 2008 Denver. And because we didn't have them from before, I figured I'd share them with you. Let me finish up the last 2 rolls, and I'll bring you guys back with a full hunt recap. All right, that's going to wrap it up for that 52 presidential dollar coin roll hunt. And we did add in the 51st roll a Ronald Reagan NIFC, which I did not have on the board. But I think what I'll do really quickly is I'll get all the presidential dollars set up. We'll get them by the year and mint. We'll see what they look like. I'll show them to you. We'll recap how many we found. We'll compare them to the book, do any upgrades and additions. And then once we finish with those, we'll do the same thing for the Sacagawea dollars. I'll be back in a second after I got the presidentials set up and sorted for you guys to see. All right, we've got all the presidential NIFC sorted by year and mint. 38 were found in that box, or 52 rolls, I guess you could say. A little bit more than a box. As you know, the box of dollar coins only has 40 rolls, so definitely some extra rolls, but fun nonetheless. We had, from 2012, 2 of the Philadelphia and 1 of the Denver Grover Cleveland first portraits, 2 Denvers from 2012 of the Grover Cleveland second portrait. From 2013, we have Philadelphia minted William McKinley's. We have a P&D for Theodore Roosevelt or Teddy Roosevelt. We have P&D for William Howard Taft. And we have P&D for Woodrow Wilson. Moving on to 2014, we have a Denver Warren G. Harding, a Philly Calvin Coolidge, and both P's and D's for Herbert Hoover. Now for 2015, we have Harry S. Truman Philly. We have Dwight D. Eisenhower or Ikes. We have P and D. JFK, we have P and D. That P stinks. And then we have 2 Lyndon B. Johnson from Denver. And then finally, for 2016, we only have Philadelphia minted. We have a couple of Richard M. Nixons, as well as a Ronald Reagan, which is also in rough shape. That being said, really good job on finding NIFCs in this hunt. What's next to do is to compare the ones we have to the book. We can actually just do that right now. We need a Philly Harry S. Truman. And when I go to my Harry S. Trumans, we actually have a Philly. So that one can plug in right there. And then we need a John F. Kennedy Philly. So I go to my JFKs. We only have 1. And it's in not that great shape, but you know what? It plugs a hole. We can upgrade it down the road. We need a Lyndon B. Johnson Philly, which we don't have. We need a Gerald Ford Philly, which we don't have. For the Denvers, we need the Grover Cleveland second portrait, which is down here. And the winner of those 2 is going to be the top one. So that will fill that spot right there. We need a William McKinley from Denver, and we only have the Philly. And my Philly up here is nice, so we don't need to upgrade it. We also need the Warren Harding from Philly, which we don't. We only have the... Oh, wait, no, this is the Denver. We do have it. We do have it. Warren Harding, Denver. So we can fill that spot up. And do we have an Ike Denver? I'm pretty sure we did. Yes, we did. So we'll put that Ike right there. Holy cow. Now we're only missing the William McKinley from Denver, and we need the Lyndon B. Johnson and the Gerald Ford from Philly, which we don't have because the Lyndon B. Johnson we both have are Denvers. So yeah, kind of a bummer that we don't have the ones we need, but really great that we filled up some slots. Let me move on now to the Sacagaweas, and I'll bag up these and keep those for my NIFC collection. All right, I've got the Sacagawea NIFC sorted, a total of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. So with the presidentials, we had 53 finds in 52 rolls. That's almost 1 per roll average. That's a pretty epic dollar coin hunt. That being said, the regular Sacagaweas are up here. 2002 Philly, 2003 Denver, 2004 Philly, and then all the rest are Denvers. We've got an 05, 06, 07, and 08. Moving to the Native American collection right here, we've got 2 2012 trade routes in the 17th century. Both of them are Denver. We've got a 2013 treaty with the Delawares. It is a Denver. We've got 2 Philadelphia minted native hospitalities from 2014, as well as a Denver. And then we don't have any from 15, but we've got the Code Talkers from 2016. We have a Denver there. And then we got the Sequoia from 2017. That's also a Denver. Really beautiful coin designs, especially, man, I love the trade routes in the 17th century. Take a look at that. Absolutely stunning. Well, one would argue that they're all stunning. These are really done artistically. And yeah, really sweet. Anyway, we have you here now. I've got my Sacagawea dollar album open, and I already took a quick peek at the top ones. We don't need any of these, but this 2007 Denver is mucho bettero than the one I've got in there. So that's going to upgrade 1. And then we needed a 2008 P, but we have the D. After that, we're pretty clean on them because they're not NIFCs until 2012 again. We needed a better upgraded P. We didn't get one, but I'm going to assume that that's going to be an upgrader as well as far as the Denver. 13, we did not get a P. We got a D, and the one I have in there is pretty nice. So I don't think this one will upgrade, but we'll know it's got a scratch. So that doesn't upgrade there. And then 14, we needed the Philly. So that one will go right there. The Denver's not that great either, so we're probably going to add the Denver. Sorry for the camera work. I'm working left-handed all of a sudden. And then 2015 we didn't get. We need the 16D and the 17D. So we are going to upgrade a handful and add a couple to the album. Let me do it really quick. I'll bring you guys back with a look at the book and some final thoughts on this dollar coin hunt. All right, my album has been updated and upgraded, and now we are completely good on the first page, and none of these really needs an upgrade. So I'm pretty pleased with 2000 through 2007. We still need a 2008 Philly and an upgraded 2012 P. We need a 13 P and a 15 Denver. We need a 17 P, and then we need all the 18s. We really need all the 19s because that 19 is pretty much damaged. And then, yeah, you can see it for yourself. We are moving right along on this book, as well as the presidents. Holy cow, just 3 more presidents, not including George H.W. Bush or George Sr., George Bush Sr., because that's not in these books. That's set to the side. They weren't made when he was not living any longer, unfortunately. All right. You guys are probably wondering why I didn't open up these rolls. Listen, we did 52 rolls, and I want to keep these because they're different. I'll save them for the next hunt, but I'm pretty certain that this is a full $25 roll from 1979. I'm pretty certain it is. Maybe we'll save it for a short or a future video down the road. And I'm also pretty certain that this is a full roll of 2000 Ps. No chance of a Cheerio dollar in here, I would not imagine. This looks like it came, well, maybe not straight from the mint, but I bet you it's all 2000 Ps. Maybe some Ds in here, but I just don't want to open it. It has nice toning, and I don't want to mess with it. So, yeah, we're going to hold off on these for now. We did all that, and listen, this has been a long video. It was a fun hunt. I'm glad I picked up those dollar coins. She did say she had another 1,000 back in the vault if I wanted those to come by next week. And based on what I got, I might just do that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this dollar coin hunt. I think it was pretty epic overall with, what was that, 53 NIFCs. Yeah, we didn't get any proof coins. Yeah, we didn't get any innovation dollars. And yeah, the only variety we got, the wide rim 1979p Susan B. Anthony dollar, had an epoxy on it and it was damaged. But still a great assortment of goodies, and I had a lot of fun. If you had fun too, please give me that thumbs up. And as always, everyone, happy hunting, and thanks for watching.